This week on Lone Lobos.
We've gotten 2 of the 4 Karate Kids. So
Whoa.
I think that we're on pace for a great year.
I packed up 1 suitcase. My mom drove me to the airport. And she was like, by the way, I'm selling the house. So it hits the goddamn splits on a rooftop in Beijing.
Dude.
And I was on my feet, 9 years old.
Dude, I was like, what the hell?
The great strength of community theater is that the part of the engagement comes from the fact that you're watching your friends and your neighbors and your dentist, and your pastor.
Can we do a calf reveal? Can we do a calf reveal?
Not for free.
No, for the bonus,
3, 2, 1, go! Come on.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Lone Lobos podcast. I am one whole of your host this week, Xolo Maridueña, joined by my beautiful producer, Monica Tamayo, one whole of my producing team today. Thank you for being here, Monica. I love you. And today we're joined by a very special guest. We've chatted about his work on the podcast before. He is a mutual friend of the podcast and of Jacob and I and of our lives, and we're so appreciative to have him on today. You might know him from American Born Chinese, most recently in the new Karate Kid Legends as the titular character of the Karate Kid. And you can also check him out. We'll stay posted for the long game and Hunger Games, all the games.
Yeah.
Ben Wang, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes!
I'm so happy to be here.
Dude, welcome to Los Angeles. Welcome to the
thanks.
Lone Lobos Cave. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. How are you today?
What a
bro?
beautiful cave.
Yeah, right?
I'm great.
You're like,
I'm
it's got
living.
the most bulbous lights.
I was just poking around at all of your tchotchkes.
All of our random.
Yeah.
We have Legos next to trucker hats.
Well, it's the Thought Patrol hat.
It's the Thought Patrol, not to be confused with Paw Patrol, which is the other statue under it. But thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
You just got into Los Angeles. Are you an LA guy? Do you like LA, or are you staying on the East Coast?
I'm not an LA guy.
Okay.
But I like LA.
Okay.
I like visiting it.
Yeah. It's like the fun auntie.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Are you getting into any good food? I really love a lot of the delicious food out here. Are you getting to do any of that while you're out here?
I don't have time.
No!
I got in last night. I ate at the hotel, and I'm leaving as soon as we wrap here.
Say, you're staying at one of my fave hotels. We won't announce it, but I love the hotel that you're staying at. Yeah. It's
I mean, we can talk about it because I'm leaving in about 5 minutes.
All right.
The Langham?
Yeah, you're staying at the Langham. That's where Beyonce stays when she stays here.
That place is crazy. Yeah, you get a private room at the Langham. That place,
they give you a golf cart when you check in, right? No, I'm just
kidding.
Okay,
I didn't. I guess they didn't pull out all the stops.
No, I'm just kidding. They got a really cool botanical garden and a delicious French toast. If you're into that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know about the French toast. Well, I gotta. No, they.
If you know.
I've been to. So we had the premiere for Karate Kid Legends. The international premiere was in Mexico City.
Ooh, okay.
And while I was there, we went up to the chateau on the top of.
Oh yeah. Castillo de Chapultepec.
Yes, the Chapultepec Castillo, where the emperor lived.
Oh yeah.
And I was just looking at the Langham the other day. I was like, this looks just like this looks just like the emperor's palace, but bigger and more expensive. Yeah.
And there's a lot more tennis happening.
I was like, and this is just in the middle of Pasadena.
Yeah, dude, it's right there in the middle of Pasadena. I grew up not too far from there, and they sometimes we would have tennis matches there.
No way.
In my high school, sometimes we would.
Is it haunted? It looks like it would be haunted.
It looks like it would be haunted by whatever the newest, coolest ghosts are. Like the nicest dressed ghosts I've ever seen, that's for sure. But
I mean, all our ghosts now are from from the 1800s or whatever. But I like the idea that in 200 years, all the ghosts are going to be sort of hipsters and
they're just gonna be people who had vending machines fall on them.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
just-
exactly.
they're like, I'm still stuck here, please.
and be like, yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night and the ghost was like checking his ghost phone.
He's
and,
waiting
like,
for his audition.
Yeah,
He's like
yeah,
still
exactly.
so nervous. He's just
Yeah.
reliving the same dream.
Yeah.
Well, brother, we have so much to get into. You obviously, as you just mentioned, got off of a big kind of press tour for the new Karate Kid Legends.
Yeah.
Congratulations. We
you.
are like, I am really pleased with getting to watch the movie and getting to see everything that transpired from hearing Ralph talk about the beginnings
Yeah.
of this movie. You know, hey, we're gonna do a movie,
Right.
and then seeing the open casting call and seeing, you know, them search high and low for who this, you know, person was going to be, to then,
Yeah.
you know, where we are today. I want to, I guess, get into this for
Mhm.
sure. But first and foremost, I want to hear about you and how you got to Karate Kid, and if I get this correctly, you're born in China, in
Yes.
Beijing,
I was born.
and you moved here early on in your life to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Are you introduced to acting through musical theater, or what would you say, what is the first love into the arts?
I wasn't good at sports.
Okay, yeah.
And
Hey, you're on the right podcast,
Well,
man.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
grew
yeah.
up in a small town, so it's like if you want to make friends and you're not good at sports, you gotta figure something out.
It's rollerblading or musical theater.
Yeah, well, it's hard to rollerblade on gravel,
That's
which is what all the
that's-
all the ground is made of
There
where
you-
I grew up.
There you go. There you go.
That's not entirely true, but I literally lived out on like a farm, like in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
When I first moved to the U.S.
Mhm.
I was just bored and
Only
and
child, or do you have siblings?
only child.
Okay.
Only child, single mother.
Okay.
So it was really just like
Okay. You guys, it was a co-op.
it was a co-op.
it
Well,
was
and she
a
was
co-op
working
game
all the
for
time,
me.
so it was not
Okay,
it was
there you go.
single player.
There you go. There you go.
It was
All right.
story mode.
Yeah.
And I found that through doing community theater and
Mhm.
through doing school theater, it was just an excuse to hang out with a really fun community of people.
Oh yeah.
And so that's where it started. The first
Okay.
love was for the community that it
Yeah.
gave me.
Oh yeah.
And then the second love was for the doing the thing itself.
Yeah.
Which I
Being a part of the team.
yeah, which I found to be like the most fun thing in my life.
Right?
And so I was like, yeah, I keep doing it. I never thought that I'd do it professionally.
It's especially being that young, it has to be from a pure, honest place. And I think,
Yeah.
like you're saying, I don't know if this was your experience, but doing community theater as a kid, I only knew what I knew. So
Yeah.
getting to watch different people on stage, different directors, us getting to do, whether it was the classic stories that
Right.
that we know and love, or the little stories that everyone in the community helped write and wanted to put up, I was
Mhm.
like, wait a second. It was immediately tangible in a way that maybe the movies that I had grown up watching were and weren't, you know?
Yeah, I mean I think that's the magic of community
Yeah.
theater is that you, especially for like a small town where I grew up, we didn't have access to any other kind of theater. You had to drive
Mhm.
an hour and a half to
Yeah.
go to get to the Twin Cities to,
Boom.
they had a great theater scene up there, but it's so far out of the
Yeah.
way that really the only access to these great works that we had was through community theater. And the great strength of community theater is that the part of the engagement comes from the fact that you're watching your friends and your neighbors
Totes.
and your dentist,
Yeah.
and your pastor, that like and I'm not saying they were bad. They weren't like
No,
I-
it didn't. No, it didn't sound like you were saying that.
the caveat is that like that helps smooth out a lot of like the set design isn't it's made out
yeah.
of wood and cardboard and
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
a tiny stage, but because you're watching your friends and neighbors, that gives you an extra incentive to be engaged in the material,
Totally.
which is usually something great.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
Shakespeare or Chekhov or Rodgers and Hammerstein or something like that. So it's the really most fun I had and continue to have in my life is making these things with a community of people that I really love.
And what does Mama think? Is she surprised? Is she like seeing you at these shows? Like, wait a second, this is not the Ben that I know.
When I was a kid, or when
I mean, throughout. How I guess
yeah.
What is that seeing as your career has progressed, like you're saying, from a more honest, childlike way to now, and leading films and venturing off into blockbusters,
Sure.
to the biggest stage that there is. I guess I want to know what you think, but as someone whose mom has also been pretty close by on all the big moments, the highs, the
Sure.
lows, the in and out of the industry,
Yeah.
that's got to be kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
You were visiting your family. That's got to be a trip.
It is a trip. Well, when I was a kid, my mom liked it. She was just happy I was getting out of the house.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, he has friends. It was great." He's
no
not
complaints.
just watching Cartoon Network on the couch.
Yeah, Billy and Mandy isn't eating up his brain.
Exactly. Great show.
I
Great
love it.
pull. And now she's happy I'm making a living, right?
Yeah.
She has always been supportive of me doing something that I love.
Yeah.
But I think, now
No,
that I
absolutely.
can show her that I'm, paying the bills, she can really sort of breathe
Dude,
a little
I
sigh
love
of
that.
relief.
And you worked on The Karate Kid.
I did.
I did a deep dive. We just watched the movie last night. I loved it. I loved the action. I loved the heart. I loved the New York as a character. I
Sure.
loved you and your dynamic, and the found family of it all always is like one of my favorite
Yeah.
aspects. And as you're talking about now, your favorite part, being the community that you build these stories with, the Karate Kid is like is totally fits that objective.
Yeah.
And in terms of having a main character that is really being uplifted by his community, I think it was a really awesome take on the Karate Kid. And I want to hear about like what your favorite parts of getting to go through the motions were.
I mean, it sounds like you you were sort of uh, rubbing up against the process of this film even before I was, right? You were hearing from Ralph because you were working with him.
We're getting.
When they were like, even before post production, you guys must have been shooting season 5 or 6.
We were doing 5 as Ralph was saying we are going to do another movie.
Yeah.
And then when we started 6, it was like, oh, this is what the movie is going to be. And then there was a bit of a strike that happened.
Right.
And did you guys film before or after that? Or
We filmed after.
Okay, so then it was like, oh, okay, we haven't seen Ralph for a little bit. We come back, and I just remember, even before Cobra Kai, he was always so apprehensive about getting to come back for another Karate Kid movie,
Sure, yeah.
So just in terms of a trust and a knowing that there's something great going to come of what's to be made, Ralph always was singing the praises of like, yeah, we really want to try to tell a new story here and bring a new bring the Karate Kid to a new generation, just like kind of the Karate Kid that we grew up on,
Yeah. I mean, that's something that I learned about Ralph, is that he loves this franchise and he cares about it so much.
Can you fathom? Like it's
been his entire life.
I don't have the foresight to think 40 years ahead right now. I can hardly think like a week from today and really, or like, these are my goals by the end of the year. To not know in 40 years, hey, we're gonna pick this back up, and it's
right.
it's kind of a blast. But you really shined. I want to know, what was the pressure like coming in as the main character? on a movie. Was this something that you had a hard time grappling with, or what is the process in preparing for the dynamic where you're kind of getting to set the tone day in and day out for the movie?
Yeah. Well, I've been lucky in my career that I feel like each job I've gotten since my first one has been an increment of the last one.
Love
So
it.
I've never felt like I've gotten thrown into a situation where I really didn't know what was going on at all and didn't know how to
Absolutely.
behave. Because I feel like the show that I worked on, American Born Chinese, on Disney Plus, was like a really great experience to prepare me for this one.
Nice.
There's a lot of parallels. I played it was an ensemble show,
Mhm.
but it was centered around the character that I played, and it had Michelle Yeoh, who is a Hong Kong now a global American Oscar award winning action star, turned sort of Hollywood movie star, right? And so figuring out that dynamic of learning, how to share the set with these legends and how to behave and how to, it's goddamn Jackie Chan, man.
Yeah. No,
It's fucking Jackie Chan. That's like working with, I don't know, it's like working with Charlie Chaplin.
It's like working with Jackie Chan.
It's like working with Jackie Chan. Yeah, it's like, it's like, oh, you're gonna do you're gonna go do a musical with Michael Jackson. It's like, oh, you're gonna. It's like he is the guy. He is so
the poster child.
He's the representative of the genre.
Course.
Like he is action films. He is Hong Kong action movies. He is action movies.
Is that presence felt before he comes on set, or is it like you guys have a movie and then all of a sudden you guys are getting there on the day and you're like, oh wait, no, we're getting to make this other version of the movie.
The week before Jackie came to set, I called it Jackie Week. Because we're filming in Montreal, right? And we got this French Canadian crew, and they're amazing. But they got this they're like these middle-aged French Canadian dudes. So normally they're like normally on set is it's Martin will come and and be like, okay, we put the light here, we shine it this way, we put that light over there, we go eat lunch, and then we shoot it after, okay, and then he leaves, right? Like when the day Jackie Chan came to set, it all of these French Canadian dudes it actually turned into Keystone Cops.
Yeah,
they were literally running around. One dude, one of the grips, I watched him. Jackie was sitting at the dinner table. I watched him set up a C-stand, and he set it up. He ran in, he set it up, and he turned. He was like, okay, Jackie, I will get out of the way. Then he turned back around, he boom, ran into his own C-stand, fell on his ass, and he got up and he dusted himself up. He was like, sorry, Jackie, sorry. And then he pew, he ran off like Wile E. Coyote.
There is a level of work and a level of set that comes with having Jackie Chan on set.
Well, because everyone knew the legend of Jackie Chan. They all saw that one documentary where he's like, I like to work fast. Ding, 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 ding. He's always going. So they he really we got a lot done a lot faster when Jackie was around.
Dude, all right. I love that. How long were y'all filming?
It was, the whole process was 4 or 5 months. I was out there from February until June.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, like you're saying, you've brushed shoulders in front of the camera with some legends.
Yeah.
And now you're getting to head into 2 back-to-back Francis Lawrence films.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to be seeing Ben in the
true.
theaters all year.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Get used to it.
Yeah. Get used to it. It's Wang, Ben Wang, get it right. So, in a movie where the premise is you have to walk or you die, what type of shoes are you wearing? Did they set you up correctly, or did you have insoles, or is this actually not? Because I'm thinking I try to get in a good 10,000, 15.
That's
they
pretty
say
good.
20 is fantastic.
Great. We were running. I mean, when we were because we all had our phones in our backpacks. So we had the
were like-
odometer.
Yeah.
Pedometer. The pedometer was on. What's odometer? Is that for your
For the
heart?
car.
That's for the car.
That's
God
how
damn it.
fast you guys are going.
Thanks.
That's
Thanks. I don't drive. No, we had the pedometer on our backpack, and I think we were averaging like 30,000 steps a day. It was like 14, 15 miles every day we had to walk.
Can we do a calf reveal? Can we do a calf reveal? On
Not
the
for free.
No, yeah, for the bonus. You know, of course.
Yeah. I'm paywalling all
LoneLobos.com.
that.
Yes, Supercast. Check it out. The unedited, ad-free version of the podcast.
Yeah, it was great. I'm trying to remember. The whole time I was trying to remember what kind of shoes I was wearing. I think I was in Converse.
Yeah, and you were in Converse for this movie too.
Yeah.
For Karate Kid.
I like Converse.
You gotta. I mean, I wish I could. I got the Converse today, but like even for one day,
Yeah,
I'm
look at
just doing
those.
it because I like that it's matching. But those are some flat-footed ass shoes,
Yeah.
dude. I gotta.
But it was all right. I mean, some of the kids had it worse. One kid had to wear rain boots. Like he was wearing rain boots the whole time. And
Who brings rain boots to a competition like that?
Right. That was the point of the character. Like that was like look at this idiot. But like in real life, we're so sorry, dude. And his one of the kids his foot started bleeding.
Is it the mischief ones, the red boots? He's got,
Yeah, that would be
He's got the red
He
boots.
shows up to the long walk in mischief boots.
He's got the. That's okay. And where were y'all doing this one?
That one was in most of it was in Winnipeg, outside of Winnipeg, and then there was like 2 weeks where we hauled it out to Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And we were truly in the middle of nowhere. In Saskatchewan, we were staying in huts. On this decommissioned ski lodge. Yeah, and we were shooting in this town of I think it was 200 people.
Do you like getting to travel for work?
I love getting to travel for work.
Isn't it so
I
cool
love
getting to be in a
It's
place
one of my
that you're
favorite
like,
parts.
I don't know when I would be in
Exactly.
Saskatchewan, but I'm so happy that I'm here.
Exactly.
And I'm meeting crew.
Yeah.
Because usually you're not getting to take all of the crew that films with you back in Winnipeg.
Right.
So you're meeting the people from there and you're like, this is
Yes.
incredible.
The citizens of Saint Lazare.
The citizens of Saint Lazare still being led by Francis Lawrence.
Yeah.
How is that? I mean, I've always wondered with directors who have a language barrier, how that dynamic is figured out. Is it not? I guess I don't know why I would like.
Oh, for out there. I mean, the crew he brought everywhere.
Okay. Oh, okay. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I think for locals, there were a lot of because it's a big competition.
Yeah.
And it's 50 boys, so a lot of our to fill out that roster were local actors, and those
Whoa.
kids were great. I really enjoyed getting to know those kids and working with them, but they were consummate pros.
And did that make it easier auditioning for the Hunger Games? Were you like, hey, hey, by the way, Francis?
Yeah.
We just did this. Wasn't this a gift?
Yes. I mean, it was a lot easier to because it really worked out, and I'm really happy, and it's just another stroke of luck. My whole career, my whole life is built on luck, basically, and that was just another piece of that.
But you said something really that I latched onto, in that it feels like a lot of each of the steps along the way has prepared you for the next.
Yeah.
And in a way, everything that has transpired has made you ready for this moment right here.
I guess that's one of those things that sounds profound, but if you think about it,
It's everyone's
that's how
experience.
that's just how
That
life
is-
works.
that
It's like
it is how life works.
Yes, it's one thing led to the other thing. I'm like, yeah, that's I guess.
And yet, I don't know if it makes a difference, but the fact that it's documented permanently, and then this part of it all makes even being here on the podcast, we're here week in and week out, and I see stuff from us 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and
sure.
I'm like, oh my God, this is the journey. Seeing
Right.
the journey in life, because my memory is terrible. I got to take pictures, but
Yeah.
getting to see you in American Born Chinese and being like, whoa, that was years ago now.
Right.
And
Right.
it's, it feels like just the beginning in a way, still.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Can we talk a bit about NYU and getting to
Sure.
go to Tisch? And
Yeah.
I have a sister who's a senior in high school right now, whose dream it is to get to study musical theater in any capacity
Yeah.
around the world. She's heading over she just left today to the West End to do a musical theater program over there.
Wow.
What is
That's
it
amazing.
like getting to be in the place that people want to be for the thing, doing the thing?
Yeah. It was terrifying.
That's got to be crazy. Are you going
It's
straight from Minnesota to
terrifying.
New York, or did you have a buffer time where you?
No, I literally I packed up one suitcase. My mom drove me to the airport. And she was like, "By the way, I'm selling the house." So
You're
good
not
luck
gonna have
out. She
somewhere
was
to
like,
come back to.
yeah, she was like, oh, and she was like, "I'm selling the house and I'm moving back to China." So it was like, she's like, "Good luck out there, and if it doesn't work out,
Here's my address.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it was really terrifying, and especially because my peers in that program, I came from doing community theater with my dentist,
and they're
and some of them have gone to
Grew up down the block.
LaGuardia High School for the Performing Arts, or what's the LA one, the
I don't even know, bro.
Orange County School of the Arts,
Don't
Laksha,
even know.
Laksha, Los Angeles, what county of
high school for the arts.
high school
yes.
for the extremely talented, and and then they've been ballerinas for since they were 6 years old, and they've been singing and training to do all of that, and they were
But they don't have
were
Mr. Movie.
good. Huh?
They don't have Mr. Movie,
They didn't have Mr.
And that's what they
Mr.
needed.
Movie.
and that's what they needed. They
You
needed a
dug deep.
true musical genius. They needed someone who had a vision. All those people, they had too much of that technique stank on them,
No.
They
No.
needed someone who was ready to go to bat for Blockbuster, or is
I
it
can't
just
believe you just pulled out Mr.
is it-
Movies.
is
You're
it just-
nardwaring me right now.
Is it? We try to we try to at least do a little bit of research to know about you.
That's not a
considering that
little
you're
bit,
not our-
man. You found
You're-
my small town.
That's your
local
debut.
community. That was technically my television debut, because that clip it came out
went
on
live.
public access television.
That's right.
In my hometown of
As it
Northfield,
should.
Minnesota.
Get used to
Um,
it. He
as-
said,
yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah, they reached out to me. They were like, "Hey, we know you're doing this performing arts stuff. You want to make something for our local fundraiser?" This is during COVID.
You're like,
and
yes.
I was like, "What do you want me to do?" And they're like, "Oh, whatever you want." And I was like, "You say less."
Say
so
less.
then my belligerent ass made this
a great
made
music video.
this- Oh, thanks.
It was-
I did it
Who's the dude on the keys?
me.
You had there was another dude there with you.
Oh, that was my childhood friend that
Okay.
I've known since. He doesn't actually play the piano, but I was like, stand here and press buttons. And I sent that into into them fully thinking they were going to be like,
actually,
they were like, "Yeah, we take it back. Never look at us again."
No, but they said-
and then they threw it on public access television. And to this day, in that town, there are people that will be like, "Hey, I remember that Mr. Movie video you did where you humped your guitar." And I was like,
it's the most legendary thing.
yeah.
I gotta
thanks.
say, you've come a long way, and I've got to imagine that NYU. Well, this is past NYU, huh? You're well into your theater game. When
Yeah.
you go back, you're like, this is everything that I've learned, guys.
Right. And NYU. So back to NYU was terrifying, but it was very formative. Everything I know, I owe it. And
you ended up
the
staying out
teachers
there.
Yeah, and I ended up staying in New York.
And what is it? Do you have aspirations? Obviously, you're about to go film forever on this next flick, but going to, back into the community, into the theater aspect of it all.
Yeah.
How has it been? You've been doing this for more than a decade. Writer, director, musical theater, in front of the camera. Like, how easy is it for you to decide the next steps, or do you feel like, how do you handle your personal ambitions with like being in the next blockbuster?
I feel
They
like,
coincide. It's
I feel
definitely,
like they're
it's
aligned.
the middle of the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Do you want to do theater? Do you have ambitions to get back into theater?
Yeah, I mean, I never stopped doing
Okay.
theater. I will say that when I discovered film acting and what it's like to work in film and television, I fell in love with it deeply. Like having done theater and only theater for so long, getting to know this new and different way of acting, different environment, I should say, for acting.
Yeah, can you?
I really liked it.
Can you give us the broad strokes for us that haven't done both? What, like you're saying, going from that experience, what is the biggest glaring difference aside from getting to do multiple take? Like,
Sure.
what is it that you fall in love with most?
What I like is the insulated environment. You've done theater too, haven't you?
I started at like 10, 11 years old, bro, and then very quickly, moved on to getting to do TV and kind of stayed in front of that for a while. And then it's only now that I'm getting, like literally now that I'm getting to get back into this. So I'm like it's a totally different world for me. I have no clue. My sister is totally into it. I love watching it now, but it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Okay. I would say that like what I like, the thing that's you can do in film that you can't do in theater is act more intimately. Because the camera can find you. Yeah. Whereas in the theater, you have to find the audience with what you're doing, right? You could be doing the most brilliant little thing, but if they can't hear it, if they can't see it, then tree falls in a forest. If an eye twitches in an upstage left, and the guy with
they're like, why was he standing still for so long?
In the back doesn't have good enough vision to see it. Did it really happen? Yeah. But in film, you can there's more aspects of humanity that you can sort of play with in film because the camera will find it and see it. Especially if you're working with an observant, director or a great director or a great DP who knows how to look for that kind of stuff. But there's certain great things about the theater that I miss too, right? A theater, that I really do believe that theater is the best place to learn about acting because you get the immediate feedback from the audience. Yeah. Right. In film, it takes months. you don't know, you don't really know what you're doing.
And you did like 20 takes sometimes. So it's like, and they're mixing and matching them together. It's like, this is the what do they call it? The Mad Libs version of what you did on the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And, learning requires feedback. Immediate feedback is one of the most helpful things you can get when you're trying to learn. And so I think the theater environment, especially for comedy, because the feedback is, do you get a laugh or don't you get a laugh, right? It's a great place to train that. It's a lot. It's not hard. It's more nerve-wracking. I've now done some comedies on film too. It's much harder to do comedy on film. Really? Just for your own brain because you're like, all you get and people aren't supposed to laugh when you're doing the take, right? Right. So all you get is that is at the end, the director or whoever will be like, yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
I guess you got to think if it works
and you just have to
once,
believe it.
It works in perperpetuity. Yeah. In all universes until the end of time.
Yeah, you have to just have a lot of trust that you know what you're doing if you're gonna do film. But what I like again is the insulation, is the intimacy. It's the trust that what you're doing isn't gonna be seen by the audience until everybody is. It's
a safe space.
Yeah, it's a safe space. It's less nerve-wracking for me in that way. Yeah. There's less adrenaline when you're doing, not that there's no adrenaline, there's plenty 100. Of adrenaline, but when you're doing theater, the first 2 weeks, that's all you're dealing with, right? Is that adrenaline before you can really settle into it. But in film, especially if you know the crew, you know the cast. I like that way of working.
Oh yeah. And you guys got to film on a volume for Karate Kid, is that right?
Yeah, we did.
What was that like?
So
that thing is a trip.
Yeah.
I've never even seen one in person. No.
So the big finale fight.
Yeah. Up
on a rooftop.
Mhm.
We filmed that in a soundstage with this giant, I don't know, it felt like 30-foot tall wraparound volumetric
with Aramis Knight,
screen. With Aramis Knight.
who I auditioned like every single audition with.
Did you really?
From like 10 to 20,
Oh
probably.
my God.
Like we were always sitting in the room together.
Yeah. That's the LA thing, isn't it? Like you meet all these people who are
I'm like, oh, dude.
yeah. Amazing. Well, Aramis, Aramis, he's an amazing guy.
It's a Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, Ben Wang aside, stacked cast.
Truly.
No, like you guys have greats from all around. But the volume it's a really cool, like bell and whistle to get to work on a production. Or what is that like on the day?
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's like what it provides is a more controlled environment.
Yeah.
How
cool would it have been if you guys were actually all the way up there?
I know, but like
doing the Thunderbolts thing, they're like, "All right, Ben, so now we're gonna have you on a harness."
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't have been feasible because it was like because people like when I sometimes I explain this volume thing to people who aren't in the business or don't work in film. They're like, "Well, why didn't you just shoot it on a real rooftop?"
Like,
and I was like,
"That's lame."
I was like, they're like, "That's lame." I'm like, dude, you don't understand. Like, you do not like if we were actually shooting this on a real rooftop at golden hour.
They're like, so
it already.
By the way, we only have 2 takes of this, so we really need you to get it. The sun. You have 15 minutes. Can you please make this happen?
Yeah, I mean that whole thing on the volume. It still took. We had all day to shoot it because it was on the volume. All day daylight. It was golden hour forever.
Like,
they just looped it, right? Because the projection on the volumetric screen that they used was a real video that they had flown a helicopter up to that real skyscraper in New York to take that 360, and it was like 15 minutes of twilight, and they played it on a loop,
like Lotus Eater style. You guys were just like
and it so we had that we could shoot for as long as we want every single day, and it still took 2 weeks to shoot that whole fight scene. It was by far the longest and most difficult fight scene that we had. Because the action, the way that Peng does the act, Peng's our stunt coordinator, our stunt choreographer, along with Larry Lamb, and I'd worked with Peng on American Born Chinese.
Okay, no way. That's helpful.
Yeah,
there's already that trust that built in.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't do any action in American Born Chinese. I just watched all the action. I was like, I want to do that. And all the action dudes were like, you don't want to do this. I was like, I want to do it. And then I worked with Peng. I was like, yeah, they were.
They're like, they're right.
This is not an easy thing to do, especially Peng is he's like I think like a 7th generation Jackie Chan stunt team. Remember, he worked on Rush Hour.
Whoa.
He worked on, and he's worked on all the greats. He's truly like, one of these like guys that has been a part of this industry and a part of making like great action filmmaking for so long. He worked on. He's
pushed the culture. He is the culture.
He did Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
He did Kick Ass.
Yeah.
He did Shang-Chi. Now he's doing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
His like language for action choreography comes from the Hong Kong style, the old sort of the original style of action choreography and the way of shooting action that came out of these Hong Kong kung fu movies, these original Golden Harvest, Shaw Brother movies that was developed later on by people like Jackie Chan. And their way of shooting action, especially at the time when they began, was very different from the Hollywood way of shooting action. And it still, to some degree, is to this day. And so if it's
incredible. It's like, keep going. But this is getting to see how the stunts have remained pristine and of the like highest degree of like how the hell are you guys pulling this off?
Yeah.
And to see the technology kind of catch up with that
Right.
and be able to
Right.
hone in on what y'all are doing even more
Yeah.
is a trip. I love that you guys, a nice like long take, getting to see you, you be with the environments is
Right.
all so it felt like so present in the movie that y'all were making,
Yeah.
which I think was like kind of definitely. It's interesting because Jackie Chan has gotten to do a Karate Kid before, and yet it didn't have this same style
Right.
of karate like we're talking about. It feels like
Yeah.
that was a lot more present on this one.
Right. I think the 2010 Karate
Yeah.
Kid, which by the way, great movie.
Fire.
Great movie. That was,
No
that
complaints.
was the Karate Kid that I saw in a
I'm
theater
not
when I
look,
was.
dude. I've been saying this for too many years now. I'm not ashamed to say it. Yeah, that's one of the first ones that I saw.
Right.
Loved
Yeah. That was the first Karate Kid movie that I saw.
He does the splits
He does the splits.
like multiple
Jason Smith
times,
hits the goddamn splits
dude.
on a rooftop in Beijing.
Dude,
And I was on my feet, 9 years old.
dude, I was like, what the hell? They took him to the Great Wall of China. I was like,
but it's true what you said. Like I feel like the choreography in that film was done by Jackie Chan's stunt team. But I feel
Okay.
like the filmmakers were approaching action more from a purely sort of storytelling point of view in that movie, or it's like we'd show the action to tell the story. The story is he's winning. The story
Yeah.
is he's losing, and that's all we need to show.
Mm-mm.
And the shots and by the way, beautifully beautiful cinematography
Yeah.
too.
Really great. So dynamic,
right.
like
Yeah.
it feels,
And the fights are great, and
Yeah.
there's some really memorable moments from those fights too. But I think the difference between that and this is that in Karate Kid Legends, the action filmmaking
Mhm.
is much more focused on showing you the specifics of the actual individual moves, and it trusts the audience to follow the story of the fight itself, and not sort of the meta story around the fight of just like who's winning, who's losing, but like how is he winning, how is he losing, right?
And that's definitely, and they go into that. I mean, it's threaded into the story,
right?
It is a key, character defining moment in getting to kind of learn some of these moves. What the heck is it like getting that phone call knowing, okay, shoot, this is happening now. I got to train for this. Like, I guess I better start learning.
Yeah.
You already have a background, in martial arts.
Yeah.
Getting to do it at this new degree. Are you immediately, is it like you put the phone down and you're immediately starting to train, or were you already up on that? Like, getting to come from the musical theater world, I heard you speaking about how, a lot of that choreography and the choreography that you're doing on something like, Karate Legends is similar, but it's different but the same. What is the hardest part about those differences? Like,
I mean,
how stretchy are you, bruh?
I can't hit the splits. I'll tell you that.
I can't either. Dude, they used to. I'm years past that. Let's put 2 plates on the ground and you can push me down and we can for the bonus. But
there's a reason all those Olympic acrobats are like 14 years old. That's you get. That's the only time where you're stretchy enough to really.
Yeah, you need stuntmen. And they're like, I learned when I was 7.
Yeah,
they're like,
exactly.
I don't even remember, but
no. So yeah, like you said, I think the discipline of action choreography has a lot more in common with dance.
Oh yeah.
Than it does with like
Street
actual
fighting.
right MMA, right? For example.
Yes.
Not that it's not important, because at the end of the day, you need the form.
Yeah.
The form of a punch
and the awareness.
Right. You have to look like you're doing the actual martial art you're doing. And so you have to learn the martial art to get that form into your body.
Does.
But then the discipline of doing it for film is really the more important thing. Is timing.
Oh yeah.
It's spatial awareness. It's learning to work with another person.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the most useful discipline that I had coming into it that helped me was my dance background.
Yeah.
That, from studying musical theater. The actual martial arts elements, I mean, I grew up doing like after school taekwondo.
Mhm.
And I've like dabbled in a lot of different martial arts. But I really didn't have like what was necessary formally to do. So that's what the training was for.
Yeah.
The training was to get me to look like, because the character he's supposed to be like, kind of a master already.
Yeah.
And so there has to be no doubt in my form that, it looks like someone who knows what they're doing. So that's what most of the training was. And it really was like, literally they called me, Sony called me like on like an 8 p.m.
Mhm.
And they were like, you got the part. Can you get on a plane at like 5 a.m.?
Oof.
So it was, I had no time to think about it. It was like, pack up your stuff for 5
Whoa.
months, ship out to Montreal and train. And I trained for about a month and a half with the stunt team up
Whoa.
there. And it was really like, because a month and a half is not a lot of time.
It's that's a quick crash course right there.
Yeah.
Is that part of it addicting? Is that something that you want to come back to, getting to do stunts and getting to, fight on camera? Or is it something that you're like, whew, okay,
I'd be happy to do it again.
You are getting to head into a world of fighting and like survival in a few weeks, a few months.
Oh, that's true.
We were just hanging out with McKenna Grace in Washington a few weeks back, and I had never met her before, and we sat next to each other on a bus, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm heading out, to Europe for this project, doing this thing." I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool! Like,
I mean, McKenna's...
what are you working on?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, it's this, it's this thing called the Hunger Games."
She said it's this thing.
Basically, in the kindest way.
Yeah.
Mom sitting in the front seat. She's like, "Yeah, basically."
Yeah. I mean, she's gonna have to fight in this movie.
You will be the first person. I got this from my friend Sochi. She gave me this book. She read it and said, "You gotta watch this. My friend's gonna be this." And now I can pass it to someone else and say, "You gotta watch this. My friend's gonna be in this." Sunrise on the Reaping.
Sunrise on the Reaping.
A Hunger Games novel by Suzanne Collins. Now,
the sequel to the prequel, and the prequel to the regular,
and the prequel to the postquel.
This is why they don't have me write taglines for movies.
The pre-quarter quell postquel.
Yes.
This is the Haymitch games, as I hear.
Yes.
And you're playing Haymitch's brother. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't cracked open the book. I'm going to crack open the book. I'm sorry for everyone who's read it and is like, he's not. I know. I was just joking.
His brother-in-law. I play, so, this is for those of you who are privy to the lore. This is the quarter quell.
Of course.
So it's a special game.
The All-Star games, you might say.
Well, yeah, and they reap. So the special thing they're doing for these games is they reap twice as many kids. So normally,
right?
Normally it's 2 kids from each district, right? So there's like 24 kids competing. This time it's 4 kids from each district and 48 kids.
And they make the cornucopia half as big.
Yeah. So I'm one of the 4 from District 12. It's
oh shit! Yeah, that's the district to be from, bro. Wait a second.
That's the district we follow. That's the district of heroes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I play one of sort of the core Scooby gang that gets reaped and goes into the arena.
Holy moly. Do you I took we'll flash up a photo. You're in the tube. You're in the tube in London.
I'm in the tube, yeah.
And speaking of your Mexico City international premiere.
Yeah.
Karate Kid Leyendas.
Leyendas
is also playing in Mexico.
That's right.
What was that like, getting to travel and see the world's Karate Kid fans?
It was crazy. Karate Mexico City was one of the most insane.
Is it your first time?
My first time, yeah. My first time in Mexico. My first time in Mexico City.
Oh snap!
That premiere was the fans. They love Karate Kid out there. No, well, yeah, but it was more like Macchio, Macchio. They were like Jesus touch. You know, like when the Messiah walks through and they're
There's
like
a pregnant woman,
like yes. No, someone was literally like sign my forehead.
And you're like, this is. You see a tattoo. You tagged it on Instagram later. Someone got your tattoo. on
It was
forehead.
crazy. It was like it was this huge mall in Mexico City, and they like the fans filled it up. It was like, the mall was
I know what you're. Yeah.
the whole plaza, and then like I looked up, and there's like 4 levels of.
It's like you're in the.
And
reaping.
they're all on the
It's-
and they're all in the balconies, and I'm like, oh my god. And it was like 16 screens or something like that, and they filled it all up twice because
Holy
they
crap.
filled all of them up the first time, and then like the people who couldn't get into the first round, they stayed, and they threw another screening and they filled it up again. It was absolutely insane. And I knew that this was like this franchise globally was really popular. I knew that. But that was like experiencing it. I was like, oh yeah, like this is huge.
And now, I mean, yeah, this is you. This might be a first time, but it won't be your last time in Mexico City. That's for sure. I'm really sad that you couldn't meet Jacob, the other half of the podcast
Yeah.
today. Like, I totally forgot to freaking mention it. He's not here today. Sorry, Jacob. I was having so much fun. You're gonna watch this later. I just thought about you.
Hi, Jacob.
We miss you.
I miss you. I don't know you, but I will one day.
You would really love Jacob.
I'm sure, yeah,
we
he
really
seems
need
like
you
a great
back.
guy.
And anytime you come, the next time you come out to LA, please let us take you out for some delicious food
Oh, yeah, I love
because
that.
it's really cool to see someone doing their thing. And it seems like you got a really cool head on your shoulders, bro. And everyone, I've gotten to speak to a couple of our mutual friends, and everyone, says such kind things about you. And it's all for a good reason. So, Ben, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. We'd love to keep up with your journey and see you everywhere. Can you tell us where I can do so? Is there a social media, a number, a P.O. box that we
Sure.
can send you love at?
Yeah, I am on Instagram. That's the only social media that I
That makes it easy.
have.
You don't need the other ones.
I don't use it a lot. I have to admit.
It's okay.
But I am on there. And I post occasionally when I want to, and sometimes when I am ordered to.
I know, right? Isn't that? I'm like, dang it. I don't know. Because I want it to always be in my voice.
Sure, I think that's an art too,
And
right?
sometimes people are like, but your voice isn't good for promo.
Yeah. I think there's an art to sort of making it your own too, right?
That's why we had to do this podcast.
Yeah.
Because we're like, look, nobody's gonna ask Ben the burning questions that we want to know.
Right.
Like,
what's Henry Kissinger's favorite
What's
Peking
that?
duck
What's
restaurant? A famously uncontroversial figure, that one.
You know what?
We've talked about so many
If
different
you bring up that man
uncontroversial
one
things.
more time. Thank you for joining us. As always, if you would like the unedited full version of this podcast, you can do so at lonelobos.supercast.com. We house all of the bonus episodes there. And until then, we'll see you next week. Who's our Lobito of the week, Monica?
Dylan.
Dylan.
What's up, Dylan?
Dylan, we love you, bro. Thank you so much for supporting my dreams, Ben's dreams,
Especially mine.
especially Ben's dreams. If you didn't make it this far, Dylan, sorry, buddy. But we love you so much. If you want to be like Dylan and be a part of our Lobitos exclusivos, you can do so in the description. But until further notice, we'll see you soon. Thanks, bro.
That's how you do it.
Now we've gotten, aside from Hilary Swank and Jaden Smith, we've gotten 2 of the 4 Karate Kids. So
Whoa.
I think that we're on pace for a great year. So whoever's next up. Do you have any guesses? Is it going to be Jaden or Hillary?
I feel like if you like spend enough time in LA, you just run into Jaden Smith,
You're
right?
right. You're right.
That's what happened to Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan, when we were filming here, pickup shoots, he went to a bookstore, and he came into work the next day, and he was like, "You'll never guess who I saw at the bookstore." I was like, "Who?" He was like, I looked over, and there was this kid wearing a giant hat, and I was like, "Is that Jaden Smith?" And it was Jaden Smith. Jackie Chan ran into Jaden Smith at downtown Books.
He was in the social, political, and economic section of Barnes and Nobles.
You bet.
He was brushing up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. If you want to catch Jaden Smith, get your reading up. And if not, thank you. Ciao, bacalao.
This episode of Lone Lobos is a Lone Lobos production, produced by Monica Tamayo and JMKM, with intro music by Nicholas Gray. Like what you hear? Check us out on Instagram at Lone Lobos.